This is a warning to all cryptocurrency holders and investors. Bitcoin is repeating an incredibly dangerous pattern, a pattern that's so dangerous it could make an absolute bloodbath of the market. If you're worried about what has happened so far and the gruesomeness that you've seen so far, if this pattern repeats, it could get significantly worse. The worst part is, this is the exact pattern that Bitcoin repeated at the exact top of 2021. Pound for pound, move for move. Let's take a look. 2021, we had our RSI rise all the way here in January 2021 when we were at this price. Then we went to a much higher price and our RSI dramatically dropped to here, leaving us with incredibly strong bearish divergence, a higher high in price and a lower high in the RSI. That is exactly what we just did. Take a look. This is our high in the RSI and we were at this price, and then we went way higher in price and dropped in the RSI. This is bearish divergence. Now it gets even crazier. Let's dig into it, because this bearish divergence in 2021, which absolutely marked the market cycle top, yes, this bearish divergence was about 300 days apart, meaning this point in the RSI and this point were 300 days apart. What have we done today? We have done the exact same pattern, where this point in the RSI, this first high that we made in price, and that higher high, those are 300 days apart, exactly mirroring what we did at the top of 2021. But it gets even crazier. Take a look. You see how these are 300 days apart? Bitcoin did this green box right here, which was an anomaly, meaning when we're in a bull run, we're never below this green line. But we are in the midst of a bull run and we drop below this green line, actually right in between here, meaning this is 300 days apart and this is right in the middle. Well, guess what? We did that exact same thing. You see, we have this green box right here where we had an anomaly, a whole bunch of candles in the middle of the bull below this green line, and it actually happened right in between these two red circles, mirroring the exact pattern of the market cycle top. If this pattern repeats, which it's been doing for several hundred days, what is about to happen next could be gruesome. It could take the world by storm, and it could cause panic and pandemonium worldwide, especially in the crypto space. Take a look at what is next. We have this red arrow on the chart, and this is our red box. And from there, things turn into an absolute bloodbath. Well, guess what? Bitcoin has just barely entered this red box. What is about to happen next could change everything in the crypto space. However, there is one powerful thing that could completely save the day for crypto and actually send prices skyrocketing and trick the market. We're going to take a look at what that is and what is the latest information on that thing and how likely that thing is to happen. Is it possible that Bitcoin completely saves the day and actually starts going to the moon and sending your favorite altcoins up as well? In today's video, we're going to break down this devastating pattern that Bitcoin is repeating, pound for pound, move for move from the top of 2021. And we're going to dig into the facts, and we're going to dig into how likely it is to happen, including can Bitcoin save the day and what it would need to do to save the day, including a simple strategy for you to follow to maximize your money. All of that and more in today's video. Let's get into it. Warning, time is running out. The sale is about to end. Don't miss out.
I was trading primarily with emotions.
I got stuck in trades because I didn't know what I was doing.
Don't you just wish that there was buy and sell alerts that could be sent to your phone? The key is right here in front of you.
And now with Steve's plan, I'm actually up 32,000.
I experienced my first big winning trade over 100%.
This thing is a game changer. Your transformation happens today.
Don't be scared. Take the leap. It is amazing. It'll change your life. It'll change mine.
So here we are. Bitcoin, US dollar. We are on the 1 week chart. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a chart that we have been covering for years, and it helped us make some of the biggest calls in crypto. Right now, it's a devastating space in crypto. Everybody is in a panic mode. There's incredible fear. There's all sorts of theories out there, and everyone's thinking, oh my God, this happened so suddenly. This was by surprise. You can see the shock amongst all crypto folks. But I just want to let you know, we have been covering this chart right here for years. And 8 months ago, we were in a situation where we were down here in the stochastic RSI, and we were in the midst of something very special. And this is what we had to say. Roll the clip. And the only thing that's going to save the day is the weekly stochastic RSI. That has the capability to lead Bitcoin to a new all-time high. The problem is once we get to a new all-time high, we're going to need to avoid ridiculously strong bearish divergence. That means the weekly RSI has to make a higher high, higher than 88, something that it's only done a few times in the history of Bitcoin. So in that clip right there, you can clearly see 8 months ago, I warned everybody, hey, we're about to have a weekly stochastic RSI cross. This cross is likely to bring us to a new all-time high. However, it's likely once we get to a new all-time high, we're going to have bearish divergence. And today, we're living that. We're living the bearish divergence. It's crazy to sit here and say 8 months ago, we prepared everybody for this bearish divergence, because at the time, nobody was preparing anybody for any bearish divergence. They were preparing you for moon parties and your favorite meme coins and your 100x altcoins and your 1000x this. They were preparing you for an absolute extreme bull. I was preparing you based on the facts and the charts for bearish divergence. So now that we're here, what do we do? Let's break it down, because this is a shocking pattern that is taking the world by storm, and more folks are going to pick up on it the more videos we make about this. So let's break it down so you have all of the facts, right? You can see we're at this red arrow right here. We just dipped our toe into this red box, something we want nothing to do with. We don't want to be in this red box. You see what happens after this red box. Look at this red box. Crash. You don't want that. It's devastating. It's devastating. So let's dig into it. 2021, we're going to break down this move, because I want you to take a mental screenshot of where we're at now. And then in this video, towards the end of the video, I'm going to share with you exactly the strategy of how Bitcoin could save the day and what you should do. Should you be buying? Should you be selling? What should you do with your favorite altcoins? How would you know that some big move is coming? I'm going to share everything with you, so let's get into that. Warning, time is running out. The sale is about to end. Don't miss out. Get money-making buy and sell alerts directly to your phone. It works for Bitcoin and all altcoins. Sign up now and make 5 times more in this cycle with my indicator bundle. Best of all, this is the largest ever discount we have ever had on the indicator bundle. The problem? It's only for a limited time. Save an extra $250 off when you sign up with crypto. This is your chance to start dominating. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Don't miss out. Clock is ticking. So here we are. We are on that weekly chart, and we are looking at price action. And you can see when we got up here at the end of 2020 and at the beginning of January 2021, we made this ridiculous high in the weekly stochastic RSI. When you zoom out and you look at all of the history of Bitcoin, that high that we made in the RSI is one of the highest. You can count on one hand how many times we have been that high or higher in the history, in 15 years in Bitcoin. It was so high, it was pretty obvious that something big was about to happen. Now, that was not a popular thing to talk about in 2021, nor was it a popular thing to talk about here in 2024 and 2025. But on this channel, we talk about the facts. We don't talk about what is popular or what is cool or, you know, what is 1000x or 1,000,000x or some meme coins. We've never covered any of that BS here. We cover facts. So if you like the facts, hit subscribe. This is going to be your new home. So as we look at it, you can see we entered this first red circle here right at the beginning of 2021, as we had that highest RSI, one of the highest in the whole history. So something had to give, right? That was our first warning sign, because we did exactly that right here, March 2024, Bitcoin surges to 70,000. It gets met with resistance from our prior all-time high, but at the same time, it prints one of the highest RSIs in Bitcoin's 15-year history. We sat right here in this chair at that time, and we said, hey, because at the time, when we reached 70K, go look at any Bitcoin videos. They were all saying, we're going to go to 100K tomorrow. It might be tomorrow or the next day, but maybe in 3 days from now, we'll be at 100K, but definitely within a week. Everybody was calling for 100K, but we looked at exactly this chart and we looked at exactly the RSI and we stayed disciplined traders. We looked at it and we said, okay, we're up here. On the weekly RSI, we were at almost 90. And we took a step back and we looked at all of the data and we said, okay, we can count on our hands how many times we've been that high, and the market is red hot and everyone's calling for us to go higher. So what do you think is going to happen? We told everybody, be prepared for a fairly large correction and a great buying opportunity. What did we do after that? We fell all the way down to our market structure. We weren't worried because we held our structure, not once, but twice, showing strength. And after that, we rallied again. It's the same thing that happened in this 2021, right? We went all the way up here and we crashed all the way down to our market structure. Now, the craziest part is when I say we crashed down to our market structure, it's the exact same market structure that we're at. In fact, it's the exact same structure we are flirting with as you're watching this video. It's really crazy. I cannot even believe that we're dealing with the same structure. But look at it. We fell right down to our market structure, this yellow line that's at about 44 on the weekly scale. So we're in a situation. We had our highest RSI, meaning RSI measures overbought, oversold. It goes from a range of 0 up to a range of 100. When you get up past 70, it's considered overbought. It's when the high majority of humans are buying, you want to be doing the opposite. So when you look at the RSI and it's over 70, especially on a weekly chart, that's when you start to pump the brakes a little bit. When it's over 80, that's when you start to really take a deep breath and you know a turnaround is coming soon. When it's at 90 or above, that's when you know it can't get much higher. And when you look at the whole history, how many times have we been 90 or higher? Just a couple. So when you're at that level, you say to yourself, okay, let me get this straight. All of the humans on planet Earth are buying. We have only been this high or higher a couple times, all of which have ended in a big crash. What should we be doing? So we crashed down. We held our market structure. At that same time of holding our market structure is when we fell into this green box, right? That's precisely what happened here. We were at 70K. Our market structure held here with the RSI, and it held here in the RSI at exactly the structure when we were exactly in this green box. Just like 2021, in this green box, we were holding exactly at this structure. What is also cool is we held at this structure with 2 data points back in 2021, market data point number 1 and market structure data point number 2. What did we do in this cycle? We held market structure data point number 1 and market structure data point number 2. And the craziest part is, I bet they were pretty close with how many days apart, 56 days apart. And we're going to go here to this one, and it's exactly 56 days. This is just crazy how we are repeating this move, pound for pound, move for move, and nobody's picking up on it. These are exactly 300 days apart. In today's market, these are exactly 300 days apart. In 2021, this green box was right in the middle, so 150 days in between. In this market cycle, this green box, 150 days in between. In this green box, we held 2 data points, 56 days apart. In this market cycle, we held 2 data points, 56 days apart. Now, for those of you who are watching this video and saying, you know what, there's no way in hell the market cycle top is in, I present to you Exhibit A, which has a lot of bona fide facts that at the very least should open your mind to the fact that we are repeating this pattern, that we had bearish divergence in 2021, we have bearish divergence in this market cycle. And I want you just to, as we continue through this video, you can form your own opinion, and I'm going to present all the facts on the good side and the bad side. And you're going to leave this video with a lot of evidence, no matter what way you're siding to, right? But the facts are the facts. We have to at least respect the facts. Now, this is where things get crazy because we had this green box. We had that double bottom right at our market structure as we talked about. And right at that time, we were waiting for a stochastic RSI cross. And once we got it, which was right here in about July 2021, that's when we went from about 30,000 up to 70. Okay? The reason that's important is when we were in this green box, we were waiting for one thing and one thing only. That's that clip I showed you. I made an entire video preparing you for this stochastic RSI because we've been following this chart for years, and we knew that it was highly likely that that stochastic RSI cross would bring us to a new all-time high. And we also knew that it would bring us to incredibly strong bearish divergence. Now, this is what happened back in 2021. We had that cross. As we said, we went from about 30 to 70. And that 70 was creating that bearish divergence. And from that 70 mark, we struggled with it for a bit and we fell below this green line. That's the key. Look at what happened in today's market when we made that bearish divergence and we made that all-time high. We struggled with it for a bit, then we crashed below this green line. Right on cue, right on schedule, the exact pattern is repeating right before your very eyes. And it's time to wake up. It's time to smell the coffee because this thing could get way worse. If you think it's been bad already, it could get significantly worse. But it could get a little bit better before it gets much worse. We're going to get into that in a moment, and you need to be prepared for it because the same exact move is going to repeat. And there are some winning opportunities inside these moves that are hidden in plain sight. For example, there was a big opportunity here to get, what was this, a 50%? Almost 50% gain. Happen right inside of this move in plain sight. While everybody's freaking out, we went up almost 50%. And the same thing could happen. Let me just play it out for you, pound for pound, move for move, so you're ready for this. So we understand these two red circles. Okay, that's bearish divergence. What is bearish divergence? That means we made a high and a higher high. Okay, I get that. Price went up. Okay, now I understand this high and higher high thing. Well, the opposite happened with the RSI. The RSI made a high and a lower high at the same time. That's a rarity. You'll notice that as price generally goes up, the RSI generally goes up. Okay? It's very simple. The high majority of the time, price goes up, RSI follows. On rare occasions, we get these divergences where price goes up, indicator goes down. That tells us, traders and investors, that something is dramatically off. And in this case, when you have price go up and the indicator go down, it's represented as bearish divergence, which typically marks market cycle tops. It's done so in Bitcoin now 2 other times in history. This would be the third if it plays out. More on that in a moment. But as we dig into it, we can say, okay, 300 days apart, I get it, the higher high thing. I get this now, the lower high thing. And when you combine those, that's bearish divergence. Now I'm understanding. I understand this green box is this anomaly thing where price dips down, confuses the market, but it actually happens that we needed a stochastic RSI cross to get us the hell out of this box into a new all-time high, which is the exact same thing that happened in 2021. Once we get to this all-time high, now I understand. We're up there for a little bit, then we crash down back below this green line. So what is this green line? This green line is the 21 SMA. So if you go over here to your indicators and you click on it and you type SMA, you're going to find the simple moving average. You're going to click on that bad boy. You're going to turn on the settings and you're going to set it to 21 and you're going to put your chart on the weekly. Okay, so if you're here, you're going to put SMA and you can either put SMA or simple moving average. You see this moving average simple? You're just going to double click on that. You're not going to get any of the fancy ones that are down here because they will not be the same as the one you see here. Now that you have this set up on your chart, you can click the color as well in your settings. You can put the input to 21, you can go to style and you can click your color here. And if your color is thinner, you can make it thicker here. And once you got it set up, it's going to be exactly like this. And you're going to be able to follow this 21 SMA, the simple moving average, throughout bear markets and bull markets. Why? Because every single bear market, we hold it as resistance. And in the bull run, we're supposed to hold it as support. It's pretty simple. You can see once we broke it back in November 2021, we did not really hold it as support until January 2023. That's a long time to hold it as resistance. Keep in mind, we just broke this. So imagine that we have still a couple of years from now of holding this green line as support. If the pattern repeats, that's precisely what's in our future. I just want to state the obvious. These are not opinions. These are not what I hope is going to happen. This is not some magic 8-ball, shake it and try to make a guess. On this channel, we base everything on bold facts. And typically, I go against the high majority. If you watch a lot of YouTube channels, when you watch me, you're probably pissed off most of the time because I'm always telling you the opposite of what you want to hear. When you want to hear, we're going to the moon and 1000x and buy these meme coins, I'm usually telling you, pump the brakes, we're about to have a crash. And when you expect prices to go a lot lower, I'm usually telling you, hey, market's about to turn around, we're about to go up. So typically when you watch me, and this is going to resonate with you, I guarantee it, because if you watch my channel, I'm usually pissing you off with telling you the opposite of what you want me to tell you. So that's why you come back, because what I say usually plays out and it goes completely against the herd, which is another reason why you're like, man, how does he keep making these calls? Well, I just trust the charts and we trust the facts and we leave all of our emotion to the side. Warning, time is running out. The sale is about to end. Don't miss out.
I was trading primarily with emotions.
I got stuck in trades because I didn't know what I was doing.
Don't you just wish that there was buy and sell alerts that could be sent to your phone? The key is right here in front of you.
And now with Steve's plan, I'm actually up 32,000.
I experienced my first big winning trade over 100%.
This thing is a game changer. Your transformation happens today.
Don't be scared. Take the leap. It is amazing. It'll change your life. It'll change mine.
Now, as we dig into it, we've gotten these red circles. We've gotten this green. We understand this double bottom. We understand this yellow line at the 44. And now we understand that once things are good, we hold it for a little bit and then we crash below this green line, just like we did in 2021. Well, what happens next? So what happens next? We're going to dig into this red box now and really talk about what could happen next for Bitcoin. And I want to get to what could save the day, the latest and greatest on what could save the day. Because there are two things that I see in the charts that could really help Bitcoin. But there are only two, okay? They happen to be two things that are hard to argue against, but they are two really strong data points. We're going to get into this. So let's dig into this red box. And then afterwards, I'll tell you what Bitcoin has to do to break this pattern literally in pieces and send the market up, which is a possibility. But how much of a possibility we're about to get into. Now, here's what I told you last week when we covered this chart. We had just broken this green line. And I said, hey, I just want to warn you because back in the day, in the top of 2021, we broke it for a couple candles and then we crashed, right? This crash is not a little crash. And by the way, this crash hasn't happened yet, right? This is a crash that happens after we hold resistance for a couple candles. We crashed 35%. I just want to state the obvious here because these crashes usually takes the world by surprise. And the headlines are like, oh my God, it's Trump said this about crypto and that's why we crashed. And Elon did this and he tweeted this and that's why we crashed. And it's just ridiculous. You should take all of the mainstream media news and throw it in the garbage. They have no freaking clue what the hell they're talking about. It's never from some tweet or some news event. It's in the charts. All of the facts are in the charts. Men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie. And that's the only fact we have. Now, when we dig into it further, we can say, okay, when we broke this green line, we held as resistance for a couple weeks, 35% crash, and then almost a 50% rise in price, only to be rejected once again by this green line. And then that was the devastating plummet here of more than 65% after we had that point. So 35% correction, almost a 50% rise, and then a 65% crash. That's what we did in 2021, just for the record. Now, we're in this situation where we're in the beginning stages of just holding in this green line as support. There's still hope for us. Where were we at that time? Well, at that time, we were way down here in our stochastic RSI. We were pretty much out of momentum. Where are we now? Oh boy. We're down here. We're out of momentum. We have no more. So what happened back then? Well, we stayed out of momentum for quite a while. And when we finally had a cross, that is what brought that almost 50% rise in price, only to be a failed rally. What is a failed rally? Well, in a bull run typically has high and then higher high, and a low and a higher low. So let's draw it together. What we're referring to is that typically what happens in a bull run is you ride up in price, right? Price is going higher and higher and higher, and everybody's getting really excited. Right when everyone's really, really excited, usually we have some sort of pullback, even in a bull run, right? And then everybody freaks out. And once everybody's freaked out enough, the market will flip and will make a higher high, right? You can see that this was our high. We made a higher high. What typically happens after that higher high is we come back down. The market's too hot. We need to cool off. We build market structure. In a textbook bull run, this is what will happen. That prior swing high that we had here is typically where we fall to in the market. Another little secret trick, a lot of people don't realize this, but it happens all the time. It happens every time with our Legos. If you watched my channel, that phase 1, phase 2 builds directly on top of that like a Lego. These are the Legos. It's just another way to look at it. Now, typically what happens is you see a bounce from here because there's an area of confluence and smart traders will buy here, which pushes up the market again. So we make a high, a higher high, and a higher high while we make a low, a higher low, and a higher low. These are textbook areas of a bull run, right? A bull run will see continuous higher highs and higher lows. And how do you know the bull run is over? Is when this stops. When this pattern is broken, it typically tells you the bull run is over. Case in point, 2021. 2021, we were riding the high wave. We made that high, we came down, we made our low, and we came up and we made a higher high. Everything was looking good. We came down and we made a low. This was also good. Why? It didn't go as low as our prior low, just like we talked about here. This low didn't go as low as that one, right? Just like here, this low back in 2022, January 2022, didn't go as low as this one. That is a good sign. Where we went wrong is that next move up. We tried to create that higher high, this one. We just couldn't do it. It was actually a lower high. So our pattern broke, right? The whole bull run, we had been making higher highs until this data point from March 2022. That's what broke the camel's back. That is what happened after we had a stochastic RSI. So we had that stochastic RSI. That was the last chance for Bitcoin to make a higher high. It failed to do it, and it got resistance at what usually acts as resistance in a bull run, and the writing was on the wall. We had already printed bearish divergence. We were already in deep trouble, and we failed to make a higher high for the first time in the bull run. That was the writing on the wall. That was the final straw. That's what broke the camel's back. That is what ended up in an absolute bloodbath. So here we are today, just entering a red box. We just broke this green line, which you now have on your chart, the 21 SMA. And we're at that same situation where back here, where we entered that red box, we had just barely held our market structure and we were just about to break it. When we broke our market structure here, and by the way, we can extend this red box over to this area, because once we entered the red box is really when we broke this down. Okay, now we have our red box better located for you to see. The red box really starts once we break this green line. Okay, so we entered this red box. As soon as we entered this red box, we were pretty much holding at our market structure, the exact data point that we're at now. And as soon as we broke that structure, that's when that 35% correction happened. Now, where you look at it, it's eerily similar. I mean, we just broke this green line and we're holding our market structure right now, and we're out of momentum and we're waiting for a stochastic RSI cross. So this is what is about to happen next, okay? If this pattern were to repeat. And then we're going to cover what could Bitcoin do to save the day? What could Bitcoin do to absolutely snap this pattern, break it in its face, and head to the moon? We're going to cover that as well. Let's get to this first. Bitcoin has to hold this market structure. Any break of this market structure is further evidence and further confirmation that the top is already in. Now, those of you who are Bitcoin bulls, that's the last thing you want. Now, how do we know that? Well, this is exactly what we did in the last bull run. That's not up for debate. And furthermore, we have been holding this exact market structure as support for the entire bull run. Any break of something of that magnitude, just for example, we started holding it as support in January 23. In other words, we held this all the way through 2023, all the way through 2024, and all the way so far through 2025. Any break of that is just further evidence the top is already in, and at that point, it's not really up for debate, right? So we have to hold that. What has to happen as well is this stochastic RSI has to cross up, okay? And when it does, anything but a new all-time high is a failed rally. When that stochastic RSI crosses, it has to be a new all-time high, or we're in big trouble. Now, here's the bad part. Back here in 2021, it actually took us a while to have the stochastic RSI cross. And in between that point, because we were out of momentum, we had an even further crash from that green line. Now, that is what is looking likely in today's market. How will you know that happens? A break of this market structure of 44 on the weekly stochastic RSI, something that we have held all through 2023, all through 2024, and all through 2025. Any break of that is historic. Now, when you look at it, you can also look at this structure that we drew. Higher highs, higher lows. How do you know the bull run is over? Any break of that. What have we done in the RSI? Well, we had a high here, a higher high, another higher high, another higher high, another higher high, while continuously making higher lows, and we broke it with this data point. It's not my opinion. We literally broke it. We did not make a higher high, and we're trying not to make a lower high. We'll see what happens. I just want to state the obvious for the record. Now, if this pattern repeats, you already know what could happen next. It's a further downfall followed by a potential stochastic RSI cross that pumps the market. Everybody gets happy, but it's a failed rally. Everybody cries, and then everybody leaves crypto because they lost so much money they don't know what to do anymore. I just want to state the record. I know it sounds gruesome, but this is my 8th year covering crypto. I've been covering the stock market for more than 25 years. So I've been through many of these ups and downs, and this is how they happen. Now, what could save the day? Let's get to that, because you're watching this video and everything I've said to you so far is just devastating. It's gruesome. And I'm pointing out further evidence where you're watching and you're like, holy crap, I didn't know it was this powerful of evidence that we have about this market cycle top and this bearish divergence and all of the details of the days and how it lines up. It's just, it will send shivers down your spine how eerily similar it is to 2021. So what could possibly save the day? Bitcoin has two things on its side. Number one is this red line. This red line right here is at about 69,000 on the weekly chart. And this represents our ridiculous market structure, dating all the way back to the double top of 2021. This is incredibly strong market structure. So it held this as resistance for multiple years, all the way through 2021 and all the way through this entire period here, dating from March 2024 all the way through October 2024, almost the entire year of 2024 as resistance. And what used to be our resistance should be our support. This is the one data point that could save the day for Bitcoin. I told you repeatedly in that phase 4, we entered phase 4. Phase 4 is typically the most bullish, but if we break 70K, it's further evidence the top is in. If we don't break 70K, we should bounce to that next level. That is what Bitcoin has to potentially save the day. Also, I mentioned there are two data points that could save the day. And this is when it will really start, is a stochastic RSI cross. Yes, we had that same cross happen in 2021, but it was a failed rally. What if this time it wasn't a failed rally? What if this time we actually hold this market structure and have a stochastic RSI cross and it brings us to a new all-time high? That is a possibility. It's pretty much these two scenarios. The top is in, bearish divergence, or Bitcoin breaks the bearish divergence, throws it on its face, and surges to the moon because of that 70K support and the stochastic RSI cross. That's where we're at precisely in today's market. Now, for the strength of that and what to do with your strategy, how to prepare, watch exactly the data points I gave you. Bitcoin would have to reclaim this yellow line. That would be a lot of evidence to suggest we are not going to repeat the patterns of 2021. The green line is at about 93,000. So Bitcoin would have to hold its body as support at 93,000, data point number one. It would have to hold this 44 as support on the weekly RSI, and it would need to have a stochastic RSI cross, and the market cannot break 70K. If Bitcoin were to do all of those things, it could absolutely snap this repeating pattern and send prices up. But that's the only scenario that can save the day for Bitcoin. There are no other scenarios that would play out. These are the areas to watch. Pay close attention, and I will keep you up to date. From Mark, Steve's education made all the difference. We profited $50,000. From Dr. George, in just 1 week, I made $70,000 profit using Steve's indicators. Carl, I made 300% trade with his system. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Don't miss out. Clock is ticking.